What's happening, y'all? It's your man Sam and here at Viral Hip Hop News. Listen, do me a favor. You see the brother right now on your screen. Go down to my description box and follow Chakra Doctor at Chakra Doctor TV on YouTube. Your only place to find miracle food.
To you. So that's why I tell the brothers, even though you can't come to this, you would do well to invest in that beautiful lady in your life, because I'm going to talk about certain secrets. And I spoke about gas and other economic issues because we've got to tap into our black magic. We've got to understand that as the original people, we're more than what meets the eye. We do what's physical, but we also do what's supernatural. We do what's natural, we do what's supernatural. We do what's physical, we do what's metaphysical. So this is what I'm suggesting, is that we add the spiritual to our natural elements, and I believe that it's going to cause us to operate in quantum leaps. Beautiful. So they can go to my website and register at onpurposewithvicki.com. That's onpurposewithvicki.com. In fact, the link is right there on the screen. You only have a couple of days because it's going to be Sunday, March 27th. I'll likely have a replay, even though I didn't originally want to with this one, but so many ladies have been telling me, please have a replay because they're going to be working or something. But go to the website and get your seat today. I promise you, you won't regret it.
Beautiful. Awesome.
This is actually a blessing. It's a blessing because some of the most resistant Black folks to seeing the truth of who the Democrats are, because the Democrats keep doing this back to 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 back, spitting in our face, humiliating us after we showed up in droves to put them in power. This, to me, is actually going to be a boon for us because it's showing them for who they really are. I see this as a blessing ultimately for us, honestly.
You know, we often talk about here on the podcast, in particular when it comes to politics and things like that, and how the Democratic Party likes to manipulate our culture. And it's giving no credit to the Republican Party by any stretch of the imagination, but
that's right,
the party that gallivants for us to vote for them. And often we talk about celebrities that we feel as though run campaigns and run their mouths for the Democratic Party, right in particular, right on time around election time to do so. We've seen DL and Kanye go back and forth. And what was interesting to us is how hip hop and politics always kind of intertwine, because they understand that hip hop is the lifeblood of this culture, right?
Yes, sir.
And we see how interesting it is, and how now Kanye, a free voice, not that we can agree on everything that he's doing, and you're more than welcome not to. We don't agree with everything this brother's doing, but the free spirit and the free mind and the free thought and the free speech of how he carries himself is very empowering.
Sure.
And then we see how DL kind of goes against that. Do you feel like people like DL and others in the hip hop, comedy, Hollywood community get paid for from the Democratic Party to kind of do some of their bidding, to manipulate our minds, to get to those polls and the rush to vote, knowing nothing will be done on the back end, in your opinion?
Pay comes in different forms, you see. Pay comes in giving an Addy boy and a pat on the back to certain people. Pay comes when they get invitation to the White House for certain events. Pay comes, from saying when they get special seats, when the Democrats are having special things, or it's pay comes when they have access to the White House, you see, and access to other things. And sometimes pay can actually literally be a check. So for DL Hughley, absolutely, there is no question that DL gets all kinds of access. And he gives the appearance of being, he gets a big Addy boy from the Democratic Party and so many others because of how hard he goes for the Democratic Party. I have done plenty of shows on D.L. Hughley because he came for me on Twitter sometime back. I told you I didn't want to do that. And so this little weak self, block me and stuff on Instagram, and not even because I was doing anything. This is my brother RZA came out and shut some stuff down that was, and so because RZA was giving him network on my page, he blocked me. So he went off on me on some other stuff on Twitter. Then he had his little feelings hurt and stuff on Instagram because another master man was giving him that everlasting work. So he blocked me instead. So I believe this way about DL Hughley for some time now, and he's one of many that does this exactly. So there is no question that they are being paid to do what they do. Just like the Reverend Al Sharpton, there's no question. As soon as he got became a vegan and lost some weight, when he lost weight, he lost consciousness. That's why I tell him Al Sharpton who needs to go eat. Some of y'all need to be eating everybody's chicken, fried chicken. If that's going to keep you conscious and connected to your people, I don't want to hear nothing about you vegan and stuff and you lost your mind. And the reason I'm saying that is because when he had his little show on MSNBC, remember, he was giving MSNBC that work because he was saying how MSNBC only has all white all night. They gave him a little show and shut him up, you see? And so then, don't forget, Bill Cosby's people came out and said how Bill Cosby stood with the different ones, I think like the Reverend Al Sharpton. And when they asked the Reverend Al Sharpton to stand with Bill Cosby, he gave him basically the middle finger, you see, and didn't stand with him, and they didn't hear back from him according to his publicist. That's his testimony. Since Dr. Cosby has been out, he called out Reverend Al Sharpton and told us some of the very folks that they went to stand with them, that gave money to some of these folks and organizations that stood with them. And it's not that I agree with all the stuff even that Bill Cosby said. I called him out on some stuff back in the day. But when we think about how they came for him and how some of our people treated him, including Dr. Mark Lamont Hill and others that I gave that work to, this is a problem. So yes, I certainly believe that some of them are actually getting literal checks, but I believe also others don't go hard on them because they get access to the White House, they get access to other places of power when they don't go against the grain.
Yeah, very well put. On the back end of that, we also asked about Kanye West, and we see the treatment that he's been getting. How do you feel about Kanye in general? Going through stuff with his wife and all of that, but what's your thoughts on Kanye? Which way do we go with him?
Kanye, to me, has a lot of moving parts. So I don't have one word or one way, frankly, of seeing our brother. I believe that his relationship stuff that's played out, I'm just saying, Becky will get you caught up in some stuff. I'm just saying, it just she does. It's just it. And you thought she was the world. You said she had the bodies, all bodies. She was your goddess, and that's cool. You're supposed to think that about your woman. But I'm just saying, certain things come with Becky. Okay. So it's hard for me to get off into the deep stuff with the relationship because of how that went. But they do what they do. The Kardashians, they have this kind of effect some kind of way on Black men. And it just, I don't know. I'm just going to leave that for another day. But in terms of his boldness, his political talk, him standing out, that free spirit that you mentioned, I'm down for it. I'm with it. And to be honest, that's the part I'm riding with.
Yeah.
That's the part that I am for, because it is completely hypocritical that they're silencing him. This is the way the powers that shouldn't be, they're trying to control him because we don't know what else he's going to go off into. He's also listening to Dr. Claude Anderson now, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
He's also, think about who he's connected to.
Yeah.
Remember how they punished Barack Obama because he was connected to Minister Farrakhan and he was connected to his pastor, Reverend
Jeremiah. Yeah.
So they're these truly strong Black masculine men. So he had to denounce both of them in order for him to become the president. Do you understand that this is one of the first things that has to be done when you are connected to a certain type of Black man or Black woman that's connected to Black people? So I believe that this has something to do with his connection over there, because if he's a little off a little bit, and even folks try to make fun of him and all this mental stuff or whatever, some of the stuff, some of the areas that they disagree with him on, it's too close to some of us, you see. That's the danger. It might elevate and empower stuff that's connected to Black society. So I'm with it. And I do believe, which is why I said we need to have our own awards system, and we need to stop relying so much on the Grammys and the Oscars and all of these things. But at the same time, we need to work on that and still.
To introduce the show, when I sent this to Sam, asked, oh God, that nigga said, oh God, you the man, Cass. I spit white like a clan mask, and I'm a hustler. I could stand out on the beach and sell sandbags. Some things can't last, but this ain't just a podcast. This is Sam Ant and oh God, Cass. Hip hop uncensored is the vibe, so subscribe. Hip hop uncensored is the vibe, so subscribe. Oh God, driving Sam and riding passenger side, and you heard it out the mouth of the greatest rapper alive. Hip hop uncensored is the vibe, so subscribe. Hip hop uncensored is the vibe, so subscribe. Oh God, driving Sam and riding passenger side, and you heard it out the mouth of the greatest rapper alive. Go gang.